Welcome to the ATE 23 market briefing on Continental Europe, which for our part of the world is defined as German-speaking markets, France and Italy. My name is Eva Seller and I'm the Regional General Manager for Tourism Australia based in Frankfurt, looking after this amazing part of the world. There are quite a few people on this screen today, and that means that this session will focus less on statistics, which you can easily read up on tourism.australia.com under the markets section, and more so on what the experts who are with me here today have got to say. With me on this screen here today, we've got from the Tourism Australia side, my colleague Jonathan, who's Partnership and Distribution Manager for the German-speaking markets. We've got Matteo, our Country Manager for Italy. And then we've got Chrystèle, who's our Acting Country Manager for the French market. But even more importantly, we have three wonderful representatives of our truly amazing distribution partners here in Europe, who are also experts for their respective markets. Ladies first, we've got Erika from Alpitour. Then we've got Gérard from Australie Carte in France, and I should have said Erika in Italy, of course. And last but certainly not least, we've got Melf from Germany. And his company is Australia Unlimited, which is one of the exciting new companies at ATE. It's been 1 year since our borders opened again, and what a year it has been, not only from a tourism perspective, but also in a broader context from a geopolitical environment and the situation we live in. We have had a super busy reopening campaign year already. We've introduced Ruby to the Europeans across our launch campaigns and events in the markets, and we've got a lot more activities still coming up. Starting with ITB in Berlin, which takes place in 2 weeks' time, and where more than 30 Australian stand partners are joining us. We have more airline conversion activity, tactical campaigns with our key distribution partners. We've got the Working Holidaymaker activity in the French market coming up, as well as some PR and promotional activity targeting our consumers directly. ATE we have seen a huge level of interest in ATE from this part of the world, and we will be arriving with a contingent of 53 European buyer companies at the event. I think that's enough from me for the moment, and I have got my first question for Jonathan. So Jonathan, what kind of a general interest level for Australia do you see in the German-speaking markets at present?
Thank you, Eva, and thanks again. And from what Eva already said, for ATE, we can see a high interest, as you know by the numbers. But what we can also clearly see from the interest on ITB of meeting with our stand partners, the 30 we have on the stand, it's incredible. I didn't expect it, but it's great to see that the interest is there and people are wanting to get to know the Australian partners. And I've just came back from a Swiss trade show, the FESPO, and what I experienced there, whether it's from the consumers or our trade partners in Switzerland, the interest is there, is high, demand is there. So I think good times ahead.
Fantastic. Chrystèle, the same question for the French market. What is the interest like in Australian holidays at present from your point of view?
Just for the beginning, and we just wanted to highlight that despite a critical economical and political situation in France due to the pension reform and the purchasing power, we've seen that the revenge travel is still there, and that French people wanted to come back and travel. Travel agencies receive many demands on Australia, and even more and more last minute, which is sometimes complicated to handle. But French clients are more and more flexible in terms of itineraries. They want to discover different sites in Australia, which is very good. They trust the recommendation of their travel agencies, which was not always the case before the pandemic. In terms of accommodation, for example, they are more looking for wilderness retreats, something in accordance to the environment area. So very positive situation in France for Australia.
Thank you very much. And Matteo, you've just come back from a major Italian trade show, BIT. What was the feedback around long-haul travel and Australia in particular?
Thank you very much, Eva. Was a very good feedback what we received at BIT. The winter season has been quite strong in the Italian market for medium haul destinations, and the forecast for the summer is quite promising. There is also a recent research from Skyscanner that says that 33% of the Italians is planning to travel as much as they did in 2022. 49%, which is a very good percentage, is open to travel more. And 29% is looking actually at the long-haul destinations. So the budget remains one of probably the major concern for the Italian consumers. We know that prices have been increasing for all destinations, but it looks quite good. I think that the demand for Australia is there. It's coming a little bit slow for the travel agents, but there is a good buffer to build on for the summer. All the trade tour operators, I tried to push for advanced booking, similar to what Chrystèle said. Till the winter season, we've been handling a lot of a high volume of last minute requests, where the whole trade is pushing for having more advanced booking, which helps to plan not only cash flow, but also on-time itineraries and also on. So generally speaking, there is a good sentiment, and we are looking forward to the summer season.
Excellent. Thank you, Matteo. So now you've heard from us as the Tourism Australia broader community. But I would like to now talk to those who are the real experts, those who've got real customers and distribution systems. And I would like to start with Melf. Melf comes from a very long-standing background in long-haul travel, working for some of the biggest names in the German distribution landscape, and who now works for a company that has a very strong background in the North America business. And it's an absolute pleasure to meet you again, Melf, after all these years.
Likewise.
To capitalize on what you've got to share with us. So my first question to you is similar to what I asked my colleagues. Do you see an interest in long-haul travel with your customers and also in Australia? What are you experiencing?
I mean, right now it's really, the demand is excellent, and I can only say, as we internally name it, we have a luxury problem for the time being. We are getting requests in by the day in heaps, and it's getting to a point where our travel consultants sometimes, we all work overtime every day, of course, just to get the demand organized. But it takes a little while because the demand is simply so high. We understand that there is a lot of post effect of people who haven't been able to travel during the pandemic, and they really now see the time is coming and they want to go. For Australia Unlimited, as you know, we launched the brand only in September last year, and were supported with a lovely marketing campaign that is obviously very fruitful, and we enjoy a lot of demand. And what I think is most interesting is that the materialization ratio, if we compare this with our existing business and with the new Australia business, the ratio in Australia is about 15 to 20% better than with our other global activities. So we see this as a very positive sign.
Fantastic. And you mentioned obviously staff shortages as one of the challenges at your end to be able to satisfy all this demand. But if you look at the Australian end, are there any obstacles that you're currently facing in making requests become a proper booking?
I mean, staff issues is more or less, I think it's a global issue. We all understand why. So yes, besides waiting for answers, waiting for confirmations, the return, we're having to deal with time differences. I mean, we can't actually change that. That's a given fact. But on the other hand, we sometimes need to wait a little bit too long before we are able to get our customers the answers they expect from us. On the other hand, I must say what is a bit frustrating is the airline situation. It's the available air capacity, and as well as the rates the airlines actually charging for trips to Australia, especially given the distance and given the time of the flight. Many people would like to explore the option of flying economy, premium economy, or business class, and the rates sometimes are just putting on too much weight on the overall price.
I can imagine. And what do you see as, or how do you see the opportunity for Australia with your customer database, but also for the German travel market in general?
I mean, America Unlimited is building up its customer database back since 2005, and we benefit from a very broad database meanwhile, and we enjoy a repeat customer ratio of about 40%. So we are very happy that we have managed to secure a very, very loyal, stable repeat business. And the feedback from our customers is that they've been with us to the USA, they've tripped with us to Canada, and now the interest is quite high exploring Australia, and so we're actually looking forward to developing our business to Australia at a very lovely and fast pace.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Melf, and we look forward to welcoming your customers in Australia.
Thanks a lot.
Moving from one country to the next, Gérard, you are a very dear friend of Australia. We will see you again at ATE at the Gold Coast. And well, Australian borders have been open for 1 year. You traveled to Australia last year. Now we're in 23. What have you observed with your customers and the market in terms of interest?
First, to start with, I'd like to say that I cannot agree more with my colleague Melf, because really we are all having the same situation, facing the same issue, and that's not really an issue, but we face the same situation with clients really willing to book, and that's really fantastic. That's I think everywhere in the market, and that's really amazing. First, I want to say that I was a bit worried when Australia opened because we thought that the service would be poor because with the lack of staff everywhere and with all the issues we were facing. And actually, I'm really happy to say that the clients come with a very positive feedback. We haven't had any complaints of clients saying that the service was poor or they didn't get the service they were expecting. So everything is in Australia is still very good and very positive for our clients, and that's very reassuring for us and for our teams, because that was really a major concern. So that's one of the things I wanted to share with you all. What has changed is that due to the lack of availabilities that we face, problem with car rental companies not having all the cars they used to have, or the depots that are closing on a Saturday in some areas, despite the fact that the flights are arriving at 2:30, they close the depot at 2 o'clock, for example. Just to give you some samples, our teams had to rethink the itineraries, rethink the way we are selling Australia. So that is one thing that on a day-to-day basis have been a challenge at the beginning, because we were, after 2 years of not doing much quotes to Australia, we had to work again and rethink the itineraries, which at the end now everybody is used to it. And that's pretty good, and the clients are happy with that, and they book it as it is because they trust us. What Chrystèle said is really completely accurate. They really trust us, and they book. That's really the other thing I wanted to share with you.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic, thank you. So I understand some challenges around product availability, about the rental car situation in particular, or the logistics around the product, such as depot opening times, etc. Do you see any other missed opportunities for Australia to convert more bookings? Anything else you'd like to mention?
Yeah. More seat capacity.
Mm-hmm. On the airlines, you mean?
On the airline, yes. Both internationally and domestic. Because, as you know, the two major airlines are not in the shape they used to be in the past. So we don't have the same flight that were available. The same on the long haul market. It's getting better, so we'll get there. Not in a 2 or 3 months forecast, but we will get there, and that's very positive. And the price of the airline basically, from France in economy, they have doubled, but the clients still book, so, which is that's a rich people problem, as I could say. But that's really the major issue, and the staffing issue that we all have everywhere in the world. It's not only Australia, it's not only France, not only Germany. So that's also something that we probably lost some bookings because we didn't have the time to do it, or because we didn't have the reply over there. So this is the one of the issues. But the airline capacity is really something that really needs to be built to make sure that we don't miss any opportunity.
And how do you, as a last question to you, how do you see the future of Australia tourism from the French market?
Oh, very positive. I'm really, really very positive. It was not the case 1 year ago, where I really was negative, and when I saw that when the borders opened, we saw the booking trends from your neighbors that was really going up very quickly for the land of the long white cloud, if you see what I mean. But now really Australia is really back online, and that's really positive. The clients want to go to Australia. You know, Australia is a dream for everybody, especially in Europe. I think it's really very far away, and that's really a dream, and it's really looking really good.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Gérard. Moving on to a lady who I think needs no introduction to our Australian supplier partners, and who knows Australia like the back of her hand, Erica from Alpitour in Italy. I would like to basically know the same from you. What is the interest like from your customers in long-haul travel, and in Australia in particular at present?
Well, listening to my colleagues, it seems that in Italy the situation is a little bit different. When borders reopened, several long-haul destinations experienced a very high demand, but unfortunately it was not really the same for Australia. 2022 was, of course, a difficult year, but we expected a positive 2023. But at the moment, the requests are still low compared to 2019, for example. So we are trying to understand how to push more the request for the destination. But at least clients are back to booking in advance. So no requests like in 2022.
That's very good to know. And what are I've asked Melf and also Gérard if there are any obstacles that you're facing which stop you from converting those requests that you get. So the same question to you as well. Are there any particular challenges you face in the Australia business at present?
Yes, the main problem is also for the Italian market is the flight. Everything is related to the flight cost because of the limited capacity and the increase of the fares. On the other side, hotels and suppliers were very reactive and helped us with a booking campaign. But it's true that at the end, the cost of the flight impact a lot on the total cost of the trip. So it's still a problem for our clients.
Okay. What do you see as the major opportunity for Australia in the Italian market?
Yes, there are also some positive things about all this situation. For sure, we now have a great opportunity because also in the past, we tried to promote a more sustainable way to travel to Australia with less domestic flights. You know better than me how each region can offer to the clients. So there is no need to take a flight every three days. And now that there is one more reason to do that, because this reason impact also on the pocket of the clients, maybe we will be more successful. So what we are doing now is helping travel agencies and promoting with them different itineraries compared to the past, with less flights, but promoting them because they can really match all the clients' needs in terms of budget, wildlife, nature, cities. So there are other options. So we're trying to do it now because it helps to reduce the cost of the trip.
Fantastic, thank you. And final question to you. Has your customer changed, or asking it differently, what are they looking to book specifically in Australia at the moment?
Customers changed a little bit in the last few years. To me, for sure, they want much faster replies than before. That's an issue because of all the staff problems. But they are also paying more attention to the quality of the product and services they are buying. And so maybe they still have some needs with the itinerary, but they are good in understanding the difference in each product. So, and this is very positive to me because probably they will also understand our new way to promote the destinations. So less flights, spend more time in each region because there is really a lot to do.
Fantastic. Thank you, Erika. I really appreciate you joining us. A big thank you, merci beaucoup, grazie mille, dankeschön to our three guests. This has just been a super quick snapshot of where Continental Europe is at present. You have heard that there is quite a bit of interest in, or I should say a lot of interest in the German and the French market, the Italian market a little slower, but still also very interested in booking holidays to Australia. There are some challenges that we all are aware of that are still existing, and we can only work together to overcome those. The one challenge I haven't heard, in this panel, but I've heard in the market before, is the lack of the language guides. So guides, whether they are German speaking, Italian speaking, or French speaking. So I actually see a huge opportunity for anybody who speaks these languages and wants to work as a guide in the wonderful parts of Australia. I am sure that you will have some questions or comments or would like to discuss your individual situation as a supplier of Australian holiday experiences. Please feel free to reach out to any of the Tourism Australia team or myself to discuss this. And I understand there will also be a question and answer session offered where I will be present. That said, thank you for your interest in Continental Europe. Thank you for working with us. And we look forward to seeing you on the ground at ATE 23. Thank you.